In 1776, the United States declared independence from Britain. The colonies said, "We will be free." But Britain disagreed. For 7 long years, war raged. The Americans were poor. The Continental Army was thin and poorly supplied, while Britain had one of the world's strongest militaries. Yet under George Washington, the Americans refused to surrender. In 1781, at Yorktown, the British Army finally surrendered. And in 1783, with the Treaty of Paris, the United States was recognized as a free nation. But freedom was incomplete, because while America was free from Britain, millions within America were not free at all. Slavery had existed long before independence, and after 1783, it continued to grow. Northern states slowly moved toward ending it, while the South expanded it through plantations and harsh laws. The country became a house divided, half free, half slave. Into this troubled young nation, a boy was born. On February 12, 1809, in a one-room log cabin in Kentucky, a child entered the world with no wealth, no privilege, no power. His name was Abraham Lincoln, and one day he would guide this divided nation toward a new meaning of freedom. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln, the leader who saved the Union and ended slavery. Early hardship. Abraham Lincoln was born in poverty. His father, Thomas, was a struggling farmer. His mother, Nancy, kind and gentle. Their cabin had no floorboards, no glass windows, just survival. When Lincoln was 9, tragedy struck. His mother died of milk sickness. Her death left a lifelong scar. Even through sorrow, Abraham carried a treasure, a love of learning. Schools were rare, open only for a few weeks at a time. In total, he had less than 1 year of formal education. Most days he worked in the fields, splitting logs and plowing soil. Yet at night, by firelight, he read the Bible, Aesop's fables, history, and law. When he lacked paper, he wrote on wooden boards. Knowledge became the one path out of hardship. When his father remarried, Lincoln gained a loving stepmother, Sarah Bush Johnston, who encouraged his reading. She often said, "Abraham was different. He wanted to learn." With her support, his hunger for knowledge grew even stronger. The family moved from Kentucky to Indiana, and then Illinois. Everywhere he went, Abraham worked tirelessly, earning the nickname the Railsplitter. At 19, he traveled down the Mississippi as a flatboatman. In New Orleans, he witnessed enslaved people being sold like property. The sight never left him. It planted a deep hatred of slavery that would guide him for life. Honest Abe and the path to leadership. Lincoln later worked as a store clerk in New Salem, Illinois. There, his honesty became legendary. If he overcharged someone by a few cents, he walked miles to return it. His fairness earned him the title Honest Abe. New Salem also gave him the chance to grow as a speaker. He told stories that made people laugh and delivered serious arguments with clarity and compassion. While working long days, he read books on law, grammar, and history, often studying under trees after chores. In 1832, at 23, Lincoln ran for the Illinois legislature. He lost, but he refused to quit. He studied harder, debated more, improved his speaking, and built trust in his community. In 1834, he ran again and won. Lincoln served 4 terms in the Illinois House. He supported improved roads and canals, expanded education, and even spoke cautiously against slavery. At the same time, he studied law intensely and passed the bar in 1836, becoming a respected lawyer known for fairness, reason, and integrity. He lost several political races: Speaker of the House in 1838, Congress in 1843, re-election in 1848, but each defeat sharpened him. In 1846, he finally won a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives, where he opposed the spread of slavery. By the 1850s, America was collapsing under the weight of the slavery debate. Then came the Kansas-Nebraska Act, allowing new territories to vote on slavery. To Lincoln, this was dangerous and morally wrong. He returned to politics with renewed passion, warning, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." His message electrified the nation. The Lincoln-Douglas debates and national rise. In 1858, Lincoln ran for the U.S. Senate against the powerful Stephen A. Douglas. Their famous debates drew thousands. Lincoln argued passionately that slavery was morally wrong, that no man had the right to own another. He won the popular vote, but lost the Senate seat, because state legislatures chose senators then. Yet the debates made him a national figure. Newspapers printed his speeches. People across America now knew his name. The man from the log cabin had stepped onto the national stage. Election of 1860 and the nation's collapse. By 1860, America needed a leader with honesty and clarity. The Republican Party chose Abraham Lincoln as its presidential candidate. His message was simple. He would not abolish slavery where it existed, but he would stop it from spreading. On November 6, 1860, Lincoln was elected the 16th president, but no Southern state voted for him. Feeling powerless, Southern leaders saw his victory as a threat. One by one, they seceded from the Union. By the time Lincoln took office, 7 states had formed the Confederate States of America. More would follow. In his inaugural address, Lincoln pleaded, "We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies." But war arrived anyway. On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces fired on Fort Sumter. The Civil War had begun. A president in wartime, Lincoln, with little military experience, became commander-in-chief of the bloodiest conflict America had ever seen. The Union lost early battles, Bull Run, Shiloh, Antietam, and Lincoln faced constant criticism. But he never gave up. He spent nights in the War Department studying battlefield reports and visiting wounded soldiers. He felt every loss personally. Then came his boldest decision. On January 1, 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring all enslaved people in Confederate states free. The war was no longer only about saving the Union, it was about ending slavery. That same year, 2 major victories changed everything: Vicksburg in the west and Gettysburg in the east. At Gettysburg, over 50,000 men were killed or wounded. Months later, Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, only 2 minutes long, but immortal. That this nation shall have a new birth of freedom. His words redefined America's purpose: victory, tragedy, legacy. By 1864, with war dragging on, Lincoln faced re-election. Many doubted him, until General Sherman captured Atlanta, reviving Northern morale. Lincoln won a second term. He called not for punishment, but healing, with malice toward none, with charity for all. In April 1865, the war finally ended. General Lee surrendered to General Grant at Appomattox. The Union was saved. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery forever. But the joy was brief. 5 days later, on April 14, 1865, while watching a play at Ford's Theater, Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth. He died the next morning. The nation mourned the man who had guided them through their darkest hour. Lincoln's life became legend. He proved that someone born in poverty could rise to greatness through honesty, courage, and an unshakable belief in freedom. Government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln remains not just a president, but a global symbol of freedom, equality, and hope. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who love history. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories of leaders, legends, and the journeys that shaped our world.